This is Jeffrey Aaron reporting tonight from Vancouver, Canada, as the annual meeting of IATA Cargo, the World Cargo Symposium, delivers an opportunity to find out what industry leaders are thinking. After record losses in 2009, we wonder what will happen in 2010.
Hi, I'm Mike Malik. I'm the president of Aloha Air Cargo based in Honolulu. I want you to come visit, but first of all, call me on mmalik@aloha-aircargo.com. I'm waiting.
We're wondering how Aloha Airlines is doing air cargo in 2010, and what's it like to be part of a cargo operation that actually succeeded a passenger airline?
Well, number one, we're doing quite well. Much better than I expected.
Yeah.
We've been able to control our costs in 2009 and turned out to be a profitable year for us.
Yeah.
It's our first full year of operation. Secondly, we're expecting moderate growth this year on the base front, but we are expanding our footprint and going into other ancillary businesses like maintenance and cargo handling, which is taking off for us. With respect to what it's like, I've always been in the passenger business.
Oh, well.
So this was my first cargo operation, and I am pleasantly surprised because, you know, profits have always eluded me when I've been in the passenger business, but in the cargo business, you know, if you do it right, you can make money, I've noticed.
You could be Hawaiian royalty, count the money.
But it was very difficult. I mean, you know, from an airline which had approximately 35 jets, we're down to about 5 now.
Yeah.
And so we've consolidated. We're a very solid foundation, not making the same mistakes as previous people have done in running Aloha. So I'm very happy with the way things are going.
Tell me something, sir, when you made the transition from the passenger business to the cargo business, what surprised you?
Well, what surprised me was
the profits. Yeah.
Well, the profits is one, but when you go out in the industry and you talk about your product and your services, there's not as much interest from the general public, and that was a rude awakening, because whenever you did something on the passenger side, you know, everybody was interested in seeing what you were doing. But on the cargo side, it's a specific niche. There is a specific set of people who are interested in you. So that was a little bit of a change for us, for not just me, but for all my people as well, who are always in the passenger business themselves.
Tell me very briefly, what does Aloha Air Cargo do and where do you fly?
Well, right now we're an inter-island carrier, so we're about 75 to 80% of the state's air volume interstate.
Really?
We do about 100 million tons a year, and we do about 1,000 flights a month.
Wow.
So those are the sort of characteristics.
Okay. Do you have any thought to move beyond the Hawaiian Islands?
We'd love to. We'd love to. I think that we would have to expand in order to grow our company.
Yeah.
The good news is we're going to do it in a methodical manner. What we're doing is we're making sure we have a consistent brand and a consistent product that we can replicate reliably again and again before we go on from there.
Jay Shalat, Vice President Cargo Jet Airways.
What brings you to the IATA World Cargo Symposium?
I think the economy is on its way up. Cautious optimism brings me here.
Yeah.
As far as the biggest challenge in the industry, I think yields remain a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Most of the industry has lost about 30% in growth. I don't think we have reduced our cost by 30%.
Yeah.
So there lies the imbalance of what we need to do to get better. And I think the biggest thing about this turnout versus last year, I think you could see enthusiasm from most people. I think it's cautious enthusiasm, but I think it's well worth revisiting again, and cautious optimism is the word of the conference. Okay, so you moved from American Airlines, almost a lifetime in American, to a new venture at Jet Airways in India. What surprised you? I think the economy, the way it's rebounded domestically, is just phenomenal. I mean, people are complaining at 8% growth. In India? In India. They expect it to be 9%. So the challenges that lie in India are still enormous, but I think with 300 million middle-class population up and coming, I think it's a huge market that can't be ignored by anybody in this forum, including the Indian carriers as well as the rest of them. How committed to air cargo is Jet Airways? Naresh Goyal, who owns the company, the chairman, is very committed. We're about 12% of international turnover. roughly about 8% system-wide because of domestic lack of infrastructure. Otherwise, we should be around 12% system-wide.
And tell me something, how did you make the change from being in America for so many years to going back to live in India? How did that work?
I still haven't made the change. I'm still American, but I have an Indian heritage, so it helps me blend it a little easier.
Sure. Well, well put. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So can you tell me, sir, what are you involved in and what's your top priority right now?
Sure. I'm Mark Moore, Manager of Product Development and Specialty Sales for Continental Airlines Cargo in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I have global responsibility for several products, but probably the one of most interest would be Climate Secure, our suite of cold chain solutions for pharmaceutical and other elements of the temperature controlled industry.
Yeah. And tell me about that. What do we have to think about?
Sure. There's a lot of elements involved with this. It's a very complicated process. It's very much a tripartite relationship with the shippers, the manufacturers, the forwarders, the manufacturers, and of course the airlines. Now you also have to look at the security component of that with the exemptions expiring on August 3rd of this year.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right, the potential impact could be in the tens of millions of dollars in terms of liability of lost product. And not to mention the fact that if you spoil a product, there's potentially patients out there not getting the life-saving medications that they're in need of.
What are you telling your customers and what are they asking you about this deadline?
Basically, they really want to know what the impact is of the new TSA requirements, and there's some considerable interest in the Certified Cargo Screening program and becoming a Certified Cargo Screening facility, which is really key in terms of being able to maintain the integrity of the cold chain and preventing any kind of problems going downstream as it relates to shipments being tendered to the airlines.
Okay, and tell me, sir, you said you operate in 3 specific areas of interest. Which one do you find the most challenging right now? Is it the cold chain? Is it the pharma business? Yeah, sure. The heavyweight business, you said, yeah?
Sure. I'd have to say probably the most challenging, but certainly the most entertaining as well in terms of a fun thing to do is really working on the cold chain.
Yeah.
I do also have global responsibility for human remain shipping and also Continental's expedited heavy product as well.
Yeah.
But certainly cold chain is the most interesting. It's certainly getting the most visibility not only from an internal perspective with Continental, but certainly out in the world of other airlines and certainly as it relates to freight forwarders, folks looking for that high yield income.
Is it a big new adventure part of your business, this cold chain? I know you've been emphasizing it with that Mona campaign to move perishables. Is this a big part of the future of Continental Cargo?
It really is, along with all of the specialty products that are the high yield products. It's really easy to put boxes on an airplane, just put freight on the plane. But it does take a high degree of expertise when dealing with cold chain or with valuable shipments or live animals or any of the other specialty products, human remains, that we see. And of course, you're compensated for those types of products in the form of higher yield as well. And obviously it's all about yield right now.
If you'd like further information on developing air cargo topics, go to www.aircargonews.com. If you'd like a free subscription to Air Cargo News and to our thrice weekly publication Flying Typers, write to me, Jeffrey, at aircargonews.com. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and keep 'em flying.